What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Do-It-All, and today we are going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings in our second video of the day. And to go along with what we just talked about with the Lions, we're going to be talking about the Vikings, some of their key additions, some of their key losses, schedule, talent on offense and defense, and their draft picks. Break it down one by one. So let's go ahead and talk about some of their key additions from this past offseason. Now let's see, they signed Latavius Murray, running back from Oakland. Solid depth piece in my eyes. Not a NFL starter, as I believe that job will be going to newly drafted running back Dalvin Cook, who was just drafted in the second round this year by the team. They signed Michael Floyd, who was previously with the Patriots. Was suspended, I believe, at the end of last year for a DUI. They brought in Riley Reef, Mike Remmers, two offensive tackle depth pieces. Now, the Vikings' offensive line is bad. They couldn't even open holes for AP last year. So we'll see what happens on their offensive line. And they brought in Dayton Jones, who was formerly of the Packers. Good, solid defensive end piece, depth piece. Not going to start. Vikings' defensive line is really good, especially at defensive end. Some of their losses include Adrian Peterson, obviously. Adrian did sign with the New Orleans Saints this past offseason. He is getting up there on age, but he's still probably an elite running back. We'll see. I mean, he's going to the Saints. I don't know how that'll fit schematically, but we'll see. I lost Matt Asiata, a depth piece at running back. Cordarrelle Patterson, huge in their return game. Not the best of receivers. Maybe a really average receiver, but huge in the return game. Blocking tight end Rhett Ellison. Offensive tackle Matt Khalil. Chad Greenway retired. Captain Munderland. And they lost their punter Jeff Locke, who was pretty below average. Now jumping into their offense. As we all remember, Teddy Bridgewater was hurt last year in training camp. Gruesome knee injury. He looks like he'll be out for this season. So Sam Bradford's going to be taking over as quarterback again this year. Now, they did give up a first-round draft pick last year to get him, which I still believe that the Vikings way overpaid for. If we all remember, I believe that they started the season 6-1. I think they had a very solid start, and they finished the season 8-8. So it's pretty sad. I thought they were going to take the division from the from the Packers. Now, Sam Bradford is an average quarterback, basically the average. So we'll see. They don't really have the best offensive line. They have a very mediocre offensive line. So finding a way to have him have time and read defenses, which he has struggled with in his early NFL career, it's just not a key for success. They do have Dalvin Cook, who they drafted in the second round this year, since they didn't have a first-round pick. So they might rely on him and Latavius Murray to try to take pressure off of Bradford. But, not having an offensive line affects your running game too. Now, jumping to the defensive side of the ball, the Vikings have a top 10 defense. Probably a top 5. They have Xavier Rhodes starting at corner. That's the number 1 corner. That guy follows your number 1 around the field. You gotta respect a guy like that. As I've said in numerous other videos, and we will continuously keep saying and praising these number 1 cornerbacks because they do a lot for their team. Have a top safety in Harrison Smith. They have up-and-coming linebacker Eric Kendricks, brother to Michael Kendricks, who's on the Eagles. Their defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in football with, what's his name? Donnell Hunter, Sharif Floyd, who was hurt last year, Linval Joseph, and Everson Griffin, who just signed a fat contract, I believe, and so did Xavier Rhodes. So that defense is locked up for a while. Honestly, there's no excuse for this team defensively to not be in top 10 or top 5 in terms of everything. Special teams is very average for them. So let's go ahead and jump into their schedule and see what we can predict here. Now, they do play the AFC North and the NFC South in the 2-place games. Right? Is it the NFC South? Atlanta, Carolina. Okay. All right, here we go. So, to start the season off, they start the season off on Monday night against the New Orleans Saints in Minnesota. I'm going to give that one to Minnesota. New Orleans has a average defense, and first game of the season, AP gets to come back to Minnesota. Minnesota's defense can lock down New Orleans' offense, in my eyes. Then they got to go to Pittsburgh. That's an L. Pittsburgh's one of the best teams in the league. Then they play versus Tampa Bay. That's a toss-up. I'm going to give that game a toss-up. I think they're both evenly matched. I think they'll both be right there fighting for a possible wild card spot. Then they got Detroit. I'm going to give that one to Detroit. And they're going to beat Chicago in Chicago on Monday night. They're going to lose to Green Bay. This is against Baltimore. That's a toss-up. I think they're evenly matched too. They're going to beat Cleveland. It looks like this game's in London. 9:30 a.m. start. I think that game's in London. Bye week at Washington. That's a loss. Versus the Rams. That's a win. At Detroit. Toss-up. I think they might win that one. If they lose that early season one, they'll win that one. That's a Thanksgiving Day game. It's tough because I think in the Lions video, I think I said they won that game. Let's go ahead and put that one as a toss-up. For my the people that watch the Lions one, Thanksgiving game is a toss-up. At Atlanta, that's a loss. At Carolina, toss-up. Evenly matched teams. Versus Cincinnati, that's a W. At Green Bay, that's an L. Versus Chicago, that's a W. Now, I see this team winning 8-8, going 9-7 maybe. I think the worst they'll do is 6-10. But their defense will carry them in the majority of their games. That will wrap it up here. Make sure to go check out my other season preview videos. I think I'll do one more video for the day, and that will wrap up the NFC North. That would be about the Green Bay Packers. I think that'll just about do it. I don't really have much else to discuss on the Vikings. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Teddy Bridgewater, however. If they trade him for a possible draft pick to a team that is quarterback needy, that is willing to wait another season. Teddy Bridgewater, before he got hurt, was playing as an above-average quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.